Guys, welcome to your Wednesday assignment. This is a writing assignment. You are going to be writing a letter to a family member. You could also write this letter to a pet if you wanted. But really, we want you to write a letter and to somebody that you have some things in common with and some things that you don't have in common. You're going to compare and contrast yourself with someone else. Now, this might be somebody that you are genetically related to, or it might not. I went ahead and chose my mom. So I will show you that example in a moment. But this is the letter format. And I forgot an important part. You need to put the date in the top right corner. Okay, so you write the date, dear so-and-so, comma, and then you indent. It's like 2 finger spaces of blank on the first line, and under the R is where I try to think of it, is that you'll start the first line. And you'll write, and you'll write, and you'll write a few sentences, and then the next paragraph, you'll have a few spaces, and you'll indent to do the second paragraph, and then when you're changing topics, you'll indent and do the next paragraph, and maybe indent and do the last paragraph. And then at the end of your letter, you will sign it love or sincerely or take care or your friend. And then this is a great place to write your name in cursive. If there's something you forgot to say or something you wanted to have really stand out, you can always add at the very end a PS. It stands for postscript, P period, S period, and then write your little extra note. All right, so we're going to think about our traits. I want to think about either inherited or acquired traits. So I kind of made a list here, and this list is not exhaustive. There are other things that you might put, but you might think about, do you have the same or different hair color or hair texture? Maybe one of you has straight hair and one of you has curly hair. Same or different eye color. Same or different handedness. Can you hear that big loud truck outside? Sorry. Right-handed or left-handed. Or, like, I think Mrs. Powell and I both are ambidextrous. You can use both hands. That's what that means. You're ambidextrous. Maybe your height is similar or different. Your foot size. Can you roll your tongue or not? Freckles, dimples. What kind of earlobes do you have? Are they attached or are they unattached? Now, this one was a little harder to see. And this is from so are they attached and they kind of are attached to your side of your cheek there, your face? Or are they kind of hang a little freer? So those are the unattached. Do you have that widow's peak? We had seen on this drawing where the hairline comes to a little point. That's the widow's peak. So you'll think about those kinds of traits, those inherited traits. Also, color blindness. Maybe you are not colorblind and the person you're writing to is, or maybe both of you are colorblind. Or maybe you're the same and that neither of you are colorblind. You also can think about your acquired traits. Any sports skills, basketball, soccer, swimming, horseback riding, dancing. Do one of you play an instrument or sing, or both of you? Speaking another language other than whatever your family's home language happens to be. Can you, one or both of you, ride a bike or skate, maybe roller skates or skateboard? Is one of you a good cook and one of you a good eater, like in my house? Athleticism, like can one of you just run forever? So think of those different kinds of acquired traits. It also could be things like a scar or a tattoo or pierced ears. So you can kind of brainstorm your own list. After you figured out kind of the couple of traits that you want to include in your letter and you figured out who you want to write to, make either a Venn diagram, or I really like the triple T chart. So I made a list of the things I want to talk about me, my mom, how she's a little different than me. So these are what's unique to me, what's unique to my mom, and then the things that apply to both of us, the things we share in common. We both have brown hair, we both have blue eyes, and we both talk a lot. going to try not to overtalk for you. But here's my letter. May 19th, even though you can see over my shoulder, I'm doing this on Friday the 14th. And I first wrote 14, but I made it a 19 because today, Wednesday, when you're seeing this, is the 19th. So I wrote, Dear Mom, comma, we have been talking a lot about genetics in class. We've learned about inherited and acquired traits, or those passed down and those learned after birth. You and I share many of the same traits. We both have brown hair. We both have blue eyes. We also both love to talk a lot. You and I are also different in some ways. I have a scar on my chin from falling out of my bunk bed. Right there. My feet are also much bigger than yours. We also like different kinds of food. You like to eat liver and I don't. I love sushi and you don't. Also, I can play the piano, but you cannot. I wonder if I have more in common with you than you had in common with Grandma. I always wished I could paint as well as you do. I wonder if I practiced more, if I'd get to be as great a painter as you are. Take care, Mary. P.S. I just remembered another difference. You can't roll your tongue, but I can. So there's an example, and you may notice I kind of did an introduction. I talked about what is the same about us in another paragraph. Then I talked about what is our differences are. Ran out of room, sorry. And then at the end, I just kind of some wonderings, some questions. Any questions you might have. So if you want to write to a parent, you may. If you want to write to a grandparent, a sibling, a cousin, follow this letter format. You will create a T-chart or a Venn diagram, some way to compare and contrast your traits. And then what you will turn in on Canvas is a photo of your letter, but you can send in the mail or hand to the person you wrote to your very own letter. And I'm sure they would love to hear what you think about your similarities and differences, the ways that you compare and contrast. Thanks for writing, you guys.